These are arguably the most durable boots in the entire world that you can actually wear, because this is the Indy series that we did with Nick's. The Indy 3 is probably the most popular and arguably the most rugged and most indestructible, with the double vamp, with this lace to toe and the alignment patch. Indy 3s launch on Thursday, so get on the limited edition email list. Make sure you get a pair, early access, sizing guide, all that goes to the email list, so get signed up. Get yourself a pair of Indy 3s.
We've seen a lot of working class brands sell out their good name to sell you really, really cheap work boots. They're basically built like Walmart boots. For instance, Carhartt, over and over again. Cat, on the other hand, they've made some pretty decent work boots around that $100 price point, that entry level work boot range. And they're far from game changing by any means, but that's kind of how it is when you make a $100 boot. So when I saw that they revamped part of their work boot line to get a little bit closer to that $200 price point, competing with the big dogs in the industry, I was interested. So Cat sent me their whole line of boots to cut in half, run through all of our tests to really figure out, can these boots compete with the big dogs in the industry? Are they actually an improved version of their previous boots, or is it just a facelift on what we've seen from Cat before? And ultimately, why would you consider Cat over the numberless amount of workwear brands that are springing up every single year? So what are these boots? Well, first we've got the brand is Cat Footwear. The style is the Excavator 6-inch waterproof composite toe work boot. They weigh 2 pounds even. They retail for $180, made in Bangladesh. And the way they position this product is the Excavator collection delivers the perfect balance of strength and comfort, engineered for those who never stop moving. Featuring our innovative power spring technology, the dual density midsole combines 2 distinctive foams for maximum performance. A firmer outer layer that powers every step forward, and a softer inner core that absorbs impact and springs you back with ease. Built to keep you going longer, the Excavator is where unstoppable energy meets industrial grade durability. We'll see about industrial grade. Next up, we got the brand is Cat. The style is the 8-inch Excavator waterproof composite toe work boot. Weighs 2 pounds as well, which it should be a little bit more weight, probably. Have the editors double check that. They retail for $190, made in Bangladesh, and the positioning is exactly the same. And then to the third boot, the brand is Cat Footwear. The style is the Excavator Chelsea waterproof composite toe work boot. They weigh 1 pound 13 ounces, retail for $180, made in Bangladesh, and the same positioning. Which is really interesting because you can see a few of the components and the little design elements are echoed across the entire work boot line here. Because there's really 3 features that stand out to me that I'm curious if they're actually real. Is it marketing gimmicks? Is there any functionality to them? The 3 being the support band that's on at least 2 of the 3. I'm not sure if it's functional on this one. We'll see if it is or not. The dual density midsole that they have in the description. And I'm really curious what these, it's like an extra tongue around the back, and there's 2 on this one. I'm curious if there's any functionality to this back tongue, or if it's just a design thing, if it's just to make it look more functional. And so those are 3 main I want to focus on, but let's start with the leather first, because all 3 of these boots have the exact same leather. And this leather comes in at 2 millimeters thick, so on the lower end of a work boot leather, you usually see 2 to 2.5 millimeters. More modern work boots like this with the modern materials, you see it pretty common at 2 millimeters, especially in the more affordable price range. But the actual quality of the leather is exactly what you want from a work boot. You can see how much more oil and tanning compounds and conditioning is worked in this leather. It's almost sticky to the touch, and you can see that manifesting through that pull-up in the leather. And so it's gonna be a self-conditioning leather. It's gonna last a decently long time. One concern I would have is all these redundant stitching pattern lines. Those are just increased potential fail points. We'll see when we get cut in half. Are those double layered? Probably not for the price point, but it is good leather. And even this back piece right here that looks like carbon fiber, I was like, oh, I'd probably just put some cheap plastic in there. That's actually leather with a carbon fiber. It's not carbon fiber for sure. It's like a carbon fiber looking overlay over top of it. And then for the steel toe, you can see I already cut into that to see how thick that was. And this steel toe bumper is like, I don't think we have it cut in half. It's like 4 or 5 millimeters thick of just big chunky rubber. And you can see how chunky it is just off of the toe shape. You see how much that bulbous is up there. And I'm confident that leather doesn't go underneath of it, because it stops right there and you can see that little seam. But for the most part, it's good leather. My only concerns would be it's a little bit on the thinner side, and there's a lot of overlapping panels and redundancies in the panels that seem to be more towards the style than it is about durability. But really good leather for the price, especially when you compare it to some of the other brands similar to this that just put really garbage leather in their products. Maybe Carhartt's improved, it's hard to say, but I doubt it. And we ran the puncture test, 114 pounds. We ran the waterproof test, passed with flying colors. We burned it to make sure there wasn't any plastic pigment on top, and that's where you can really see how much oil is infused in this leather, making it a real work boot leather, because it takes a while for it to burn, because it has to boil off that oil and the conditioners first before it actually burns. But that one thing I'm really curious about is this band right here. What do they call it? They call it a support band. They say it's an active strap that adds support around your ankle, delivering a secure locked-in fit. But does it actually go all the way around? You know, is it sewn in anywhere? Is it actually gonna cinch down when you pull it super tight? Well, let's just do a quick little test and find out. I'll just literally pull on the laces and see if it looks like it cinches down. Okay, it is cinching down. You can see it pulling right there. See it pulling? So it is cinching down, but it's not as much as I thought it was gonna be, and that's because if you look underneath of it, it's laced through the boot right there. But I'm pretty sure that's an optional way of using this, so let's see what happens if you unlace it from the boot and just lace it around the band to see if that will cinch it up. So now when I pull these tight, what happens? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That does work, okay. So I guess the idea would be, if you wanted to lace up like a regular boot, you'd put it through the little eyelet in the boot and the actual strap here. But if you want it to really cinch around your ankle so you lock your heel in, you can just lace it straight through that strap. I haven't used it functionally, so I don't know how much it actually works, but you can tell that is the intent, because that's one of the problems people have with work boots, is you get a lot of heel slip, you wear out to the inside of your boot really easily. It's just annoying to have a sloppy boot on, especially if you're in rough terrain and you want your ankle and your heel locked in. That is a pretty cool idea. But is it echoed across all three of them? This one looks like, it's still got those eyelets. Yep, that's the same. But what about the Chelsea one? There's nothing really to cinch it down with. This one is sewn in through here, but it's a Chelsea boot. So it would have been cool if they could have figured out a way to get that to cinch down for a Chelsea. You know, somehow maybe like cross it right here and then you could like cinch that gusset down. I'd like to see them innovate off of that, because I really like this concept, but it's just not obviously as functional on a Chelsea boot that doesn't have any laces. But speaking of the inside of the boot, how does it look? There's no dedicated heel counter, it's just a lining, so that's gonna be a weaker spot in the boot, but for the price point, that's kind of what you expect. You know, even the old cats that we cut apart. But my main interest is this right here, because I've seen this in a couple other boots used in a similar way, but I don't really know what it's for. And so I've just been thinking about, like, why would you add that? What would the intention be? So my best guess is, see how this comes across and then drops low? A problem that a lot of people have with boots is when it's just flat across the top, you cinch this top eyelet down and there's a lot of pressure right around your ankle. So that's why you see a lot of padded collars in boots to prevent that from happening. But they also will drop this little heel down, and what that does is it distributes the tension instead of across a single point where your laces are. It allows it to be spread across a bigger area because you're not pulling directly across. It's actually pulling kind of at an angle. And then this top area allows it to be a little bit more flexible. And so that would be my guess, is it's a way to seal the top of the boot while still having some flexibility in the top. That's my best guess. They don't really have it on their website, but when you cinch this down and you're missing that part right there, you have a gap right here that a bunch of dirt and grime could get into because you're trying to alleviate that pressure. So by adding this almost like second tongue, like a back tongue, that fills up that gap and will hopefully snug against your ankle and prevent junk from getting to the inside of the boot, and it will be caught right there instead of sneaking into your socks. We've seen this on a few other boots, just not a dedicated work boot like this, and to me, that's a really smart way of solving that pain point and then fixing it with a new feature that actually works. Is it gonna be perfect? No, you're still gonna get some stuff in there. It's like it's gonna completely change the boots, but I think it will help, because I was just wearing Chelsea boots actually on a hike, and so much junk gets on the inside of your boots. I'd be curious to see if they could do like a heritage version of this. You know, like, well, what's the heritage-ified version of this? And then speaking of the inside, just a typical lining, you know, nothing too crazy. It's fairly similar to their other boots, pretty traditional synthetic lining. The insole, on the other hand, ridiculously soft and squishy. This thing is just thick, it is soft. Here's your measurements and your thicknesses. I even like this little patch right there. I'm not sure if it does anything, but at least, you know, there's some intention behind it. It's not just a cheap, really thin open cell phone like you see in a lot of work boots. But then to the third thing that I'm really curious about, which is completely different from what we've seen from Cat in the past. This is their regular work boots, closer to 100 bucks. It's a pretty basic construction. It was Goodyear welted, just a solid outsole, a little bit of filler material, shank. But that's kind of an old school way of making boots. It's a little bit more towards the heritage. You know, it's a more affordable heritage, and that's why you don't see any leather on the inside, but the Goodyear welt sews everything together, making it a really tough boot, but you don't get a lot of squish in heritage boots like this, or heritage styled boots. So that's why this is so interesting to me, because this is a full modern boot with that dual density outsole. They say it's the power spring technology. This little outsole creeps up the sidewall to give you some support and stability. It's the SRX, slip resistant, oil resistant, heavy grip rubber. So I want to know, is this truly dual density? Or is it like all the other brands we've caught where they're like, it's dual density, and there's just like one layer of foam and there's like a layer of paint on the outside? They're saying firm outer structure, which is this kind of gray area, Then it says dual density supercritical foam with a softer core. I'm curious if it's actually true. Is it just a layer of paint on the outside? So let me just take my little knife. We'll just slice this thing open and get a little peek on the inside before we cut it in half. Is it yellow on the inside? Yes, it is. Okay, so maybe actually it might be dual density. But that outer layer is really, really thin. That's like a couple millimeters of foam at most, looks like. And to see how well this midsole performed, we did the ball and broad drop test. Here's results, not bad at all. So it is pointing to that it is a advanced foam that actually has a lot of rebound in it, especially if you compare it to the more traditionally made other cat boots that we've reviewed. And then really the last thing is it a Goodyear welted construction? Because you have this welt that wraps all the way around it. But it's more modern style, which you'd either assume it was direct injected or cemented, but we don't really know until we get it cut in half. So now let's cut this thing in half, see how thick the steel toe is, see if it is truly dual density. Is there anything hidden on the inside? How were they built? Well, let's find out. All right, we got it cut in half. If you're not subscribed, consider pushing that little subscribe button, because that's how we can afford to do this and convince these brands to send us their brand new line of products just to get ripped apart and criticized and scrutinize every square inch, every nook and cranny of these, just so you guys know what you're buying. So check out our new saddle soles below, check out our collaborations, because that's how we are able to afford to do this. So now, let's see what's inside. What is on the inside? Is it truly dual density? It's really hard to tell because there's just not enough foam to get an accurate durometer reading on it. Because if I take it from the outside, I'm mostly measuring that harder shell on the foam, because it comes in at 45 there. This comes in at like a 20, so it is softer, but it's also that harder shell on the outside. If I try just to take a little bit of a measurement right there at the corner, it comes in at like 30 Shore. You know, it's such a small piece of foam, there's the shell on either side is kind of structuring it. What we should do is just skin a little of the foam. I'll get rid of that hard top layer without removing too much. Just sneaking it in there. So it's coming at like a 30 Shore. So it is harder. Like it's 10 Shore harder. It's not significantly harder, but it's still probably gonna give you a little bit more structure than if it was a 20 Shore foam. It is technically dual density. Is there any other layers on the inside that are dual density? Throughout the whole cross section, you can see just that one big old soft chunky layer right there. Then the toe, you do have like some structures underneath, but that's pretty typical for a steel toe work boot to have lots of layers underneath. With this soft of a midsole, you have to protect it from over squishing and destroying your toes during the testing for the certifications. So what about the rest of it though? You can tell why it's so freaking comfy now, because look at, you got all that foam through there, you got a composite shank, but look how chunky and how thick that outsole is. And that's one thing I liked about the older pairs of Cats, is that it's a ridiculously thick outsole. And it's like a Vibram V100 outsole on a cheaper work boot. And fortunately, they carried that over to this boot too, because that's a lot of foam, that's a lot of rubber that you have to wear through before you actually start wearing out these boots. It is their more high quality rubber, and you can feel it. It's almost like sticky. And as for the overlapping panels, they end where the next panel begins. It looks like there's no double layering anywhere through here. You can see how this little back tongue is structured there. Now you can really see where that little strap came through. So you can now just pull this whole thing out like that. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna use that as a keychain actually. No, I won't, but somebody could. So did they actually improve the inside compared to their other boots? I think they totally did. It's not just a facelift, it's a completely different style of boot. They've really thought through things, a soft squishy midsole. But are those three things just gimmicks, or are they actually functional things? I think if I were to rank them from most functional to least functional, I'd put the support band as #1. I think it's probably the most unique, it's the most functional. You can actually cinch it down on 2 of the 3 boots. Then I would say, because the dual density midsole works really well, because it's just a big soft squishy midsole, it's gonna be comfortable, it's structured by the outsole, but it's not that dual density. It's kind of dual density. And so I think I would actually put this little back tongue, I would put that as the next best innovation out of the three. If this midsole was a little bit more of a difference from the hardnesses of the foam, I think I'd lean a little bit more towards this being an important feature. It's not as different from all the other work boots as these other features are. So then is this a boot that actually can compete with the big dogs in the industry as soon as you get in that $200 price point? Boots really increase in quality, so is this a boot that can match or beat those boots? I think it's right on par. I think Cat has really made a boot that's unique in certain ways, that still pays homage to their brand, that still has some innovative things like especially the strap. And so to me, this is a good step in the right direction for Cat. Is it the #1 work boot in the world now? Is this the one that's gonna beat everything? I think it's right up there with all the brands in this price point. So let me know what you guys think, and if you do wanna pair these, check them out via links in my description. Thank you guys again, see ya.